I meet a puzzler, I know they are friends.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our EJJ 130 unboxed competition without, with an unreleased puzzle, but without the box image. So lovely to see you here. Can I get a sign of life from the participants? Greetings around Europe and around the world. I know many people have been watching the Swedish Championship, which has just finished with the pairs final. It was a fantastic weekend of puzzling. A lot of the people who were participating in the Swedish Championship had already done this puzzle. They did it Flex. So the Flex group who puzzled this morning or prior, they were doing it with the image, so they know what it is. And many people have submitted their times already. We had a really nice group of puzzlers tackling this puzzle this morning. So we'll be starting in a few minutes. And I want to, welcome everybody who's joining us on YouTube, and greetings to the co-hosts tonight, James, also known as the Global Portrait Project, and Jim, Nerd Puzzle. So greetings.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello there.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, James. It's the J squad today, I guess.
I really must get around to changing my my handle. So it's it's just laziness that means I haven't changed this from the global portrait. Although I never mind plugging it. It's fine.
Yes. So for those who don't know, James is an amazing artist, and he's got a YouTube channel and an Instagram account with the Global Portrait Project, where he paints individuals from every country in the world. Your mission is to paint an individual from every country in the world, and each one of these individuals is doing something for sustainability, is on a mission to do the world a better, make the world a better place.
Just finished Fiji today, which is country number 60.
Amazing. That's amazing. And you're doing multiple. I just saw you finished E, and there wasn't just one country with E. You did Eritrea and Ethiopia and Ecuador.
All 8 of those. So going alphabetically. So I've just finished Fiji today, which is one of 3 Fs. I'll leave you guessing the other 2. I think they're both on the call though.
France.
Yeah. And another very strong puzzling nation.
A strong puzzling nation starting with F. That's not France or Fiji. Finland. Finland.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a theme for today, which was when puzzling without the theme is unboxed puzzling. And we asked our participants, when puzzling without an image, what strange item or section have you puzzled only to realize later it was something different than you imagined? Or what is the maximum piece count that you'll attempt without the box? So, James, have you done any unboxed puzzling?
Well, of note, I did my very first one today. But I thought, if I was going to commentate on it, I should at least have a go. So I did one with I got Kasha to select for me one with lots of ducks, and then the ducks were reflected. It's that Ravensburger graphic one where they're reflected. I kept on finding more and more ducks. It was, but that was quite a good one to do. I think you want something with a fair bit of detail in it, don't you? But no, it came to mind because I think I've told this story before, where I've done I got 25 minutes into the finals in pairs before realizing that the Valladolid puzzle was a picture of Valladolid, because I get very task focused on one specific thing. So
you just didn't look at the box. Even though you could have.
I mean, it's when Kasha said to me, "Dad, do you want to do the letters that say Valladolid?" I went, "Oh, is it Valladolid?"
It was just an illustration with people in the buildings.
Some colours. I was just doing a colour, and but Kasha looked up, and it was gone 20 minutes when she said that. So that's what made me think of it with the unboxed one, because I thought definitely, I bet there's some people who, because I get that regularly with puzzling, even with the box, where especially with pairs puzzling, because if you take an area and someone says, "Oh, there's the there's something. What did you think of that? Or was there a cat in it? Or yeah, but with Unboxed, I think it's probably even more so. But,
Yeah. Well, Jim, I get. Do you have any stories like that? Even if you're not puzzling, but I'm sure you hear all the stories from Mari and the team about.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many people misname things where it'll be like, oh, I'm working on the angel hair pasta, and it turns out that's just somebody's hair sitting there, right? Like some stuff that's fairly obvious, and then there's other things where it's like I'm working on the bookshelf, and there's no bookshelf anywhere in the puzzle, but there is dragon scales that somehow read as bookshelf. So weird things like that always happen whenever people are puzzling, and it's always fun to see how whenever you get really zoomed in, you can identify it and categorize it and name it one thing, and then it just has nothing to do with what the larger setup is, and that's fairly common.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't know what something is, so you just name it with something that's recognizable. Like, for example, my team, when we were training, we did the cactus puzzle, the 1,000-piece cactus puzzle that was used at the Worlds before. And there's so many different types of cactuses, so we had to name them. So there was one that looked like artichokes, so we called it the artichokes, and it just kind of stuck. And yeah, so sometimes you have to do it. But yes, we have some lovely answers, which I'm sure Jim and James will read out as we go through. But yes, let's get ready to. Well, no, we're not going to see what we're going to be puzzling tonight. This is different. Okay, so our participants should have 2 packages on their table visible. Yes, and yeah, so the blue bag is the one that has the pieces in it. The box has to remain wrapped the whole time, so you just want to take the box and put it on the far side of the table, out of the way. So you may take the blue bag now and just cut the seals. It's just a bit of tape. Don't look inside, but just cut the seals so that when I do the countdown, then you can take out the bag of pieces. Yeah, so leave the pieces in the bag. You just want to have the seals cut. Pieces stay in the blue bag, please. Yeah. Pieces stay in the blue bag. Stephanie K.
Keep everything inside of the blue bag. We're not gonna dump
Everyone's
them
gonna
just yet. Yeah, there we go.
Everyone's going to start with the pieces in the blue bag. Yes, we just want to have the seals cut so that you're not fumbling around to get that. Yeah, so when you finish the puzzle, you will hit done in the timer website, and then when I will be the one checking the puzzle, please put the box next to the puzzle as well, just so that I can see both items, and then I will check your puzzle. So James and Jim will be commentating on what they're seeing and describing what they see as it happens. So we want all the puzzlers to have the most experience. So the best experience of doing an unboxed puzzle as you would if you were doing it by yourself at home or in a competition. So when I do the countdown, I want everyone who's puzzling to get ready to mute the commentary or to drown it out with music. Just try and use your skill. Use this as an opportunity to puzzle intuitively and to discover it through your own skills. And who knows, maybe James and Jim could just give you the wrong hint. And also,
it's very likely.
And if you've already done this puzzle, please don't give any spoilers in the chat. Just enjoy. Yeah, comment along, but just try not to give any hints about things that you discovered later because you've already done it with the image. Okay, so we have all the packages on the table ready to go. So I will do a countdown and get ready to mute the commentary in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, everybody, even though you can't hear us now.
So I did say in the chat, Jim, I felt that it would be a good bit of sport once we get the pieces spread out on the table, just to sort of have a vague, quick guess, write down something maybe from either of us about what we think this is. I've got an early idea. I'm going to scribble something down.
Okay. We're only a few seconds into the flip here. We're barely a minute in here, and I am not entirely sure what we're even seeing so far. There's some yellow coming through, so that usually indicates some sort of sky, maybe a sun situation sitting around. We're not entirely sure. We're gonna introduce some of the first puzzlers up on screen here. We have in the upper left-hand corner Olivia, and then in the upper middle we have Paulina. Upper right we have Rachel Chambers. Lower left we have Ramon, and then Ramona, and then Sammy Brownlow in the bottom right. Everybody's flipping as quickly as they can. Usually on these 500-piece puzzles, you're looking for a really, top flip times are 3 minutes or under. If there's a lot of blue, that might throw people off a little bit, especially if they're trying to figure out what this looks like as they go.
Yeah, we've certainly got some, I can see probably 20 pieces of maybe yellow, and then there's some solid red, and it looks like there's some red and white stripes, some dark blue, some purples. So it's looking fairly like graphic. I can see some blue with some black lines around it. So it's looking like a graphic puzzle. It certainly doesn't look like a photograph.
Yeah.
So I think it's an illustration, maybe something like almost like a Dr. Seuss character or something like that, maybe. That was a bit of an... I originally guessed a Pokemon in front of the sky, seeing all the yellow there. So,
oh, interesting.
But I don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I am like there's also some dark greens coming around. I wonder if this is going to be a collage situation. The stripes, it kind of makes me think that it might be a landscape building kind of thing. You're right. Definitely not going to be photorealistic.
No. It does look...
Somebody in the chat was asking how many pieces. This is a 500-piece puzzle where the participants do not have the image in front of them.
I'm looking at some of the edge sort, and a lot of the edge pieces just look to be plain blue. And I must say, with the one I did today, that was one of the big advantages of at least the puzzle I was doing, was that at least the edge could be put in fairly quickly, and then you can sort of burst off that and work onto the edge. But I'm not sure they're going to get a lot of help off the edge here. I think even the edge itself looks like it's going to be quite challenging. I'm trying to see any edge pieces that have much features in them beyond blue. I'm just trying to get one or two slightly closer views, but it's gonna be really tricky. Up on screen now, we have Sapira in the upper middle. We have Sarah, and then Shay, Stephanie Kapfer in the lower left, Steffi H, and then Steffi Z in the lower right-hand side. Whenever you have an unboxed, I'm sure some of these competitors surmised from what the box shape is, what the brand might be. But if you had no idea, going for the edge outright might be a little bit of a trap. Because you can do this big pull and then have nowhere to work on it. I think you're absolutely right that pure blue outline is going to be really tricky to try to force an edge on. Yeah, there's a few bits of white detail in there, but not much else. I think that the inside of the puzzle certainly looks like there's lots of things that you could pull. I can see quite a few people going for that red straight away, getting those stripes because that helps you to line those up almost immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that Sarah in the upper middle is doing a pretty hefty sort. I think those edges are pulled out, and then a lot of that yellow. You can see Stephanie in the lower left-hand corner also sorting things out quite a bit. You can see that those greens are coming in, and Steffi H, it looks like there's a lot of white pieces there. And I'm always curious what puzzling table people use. Using a glass table so that way the shadows of the pieces are underneath of where you're at is really interesting to see.
I mean, we've got some fundamental questions we're nowhere near answering yet, which is this a vertical or a horizontal image?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess sometimes you'll open them straight away and you go, well, that looks pretty well like sky or sea or whatever, and you can get there from the beginning. But
yeah, I am starting to see more of that red and white stripe that you were mentioning. I wonder if there's going to be a barbershop situation happening.
looks broader than it looks like a broader area. I think it's too many red and white stripes to be a barber's pole. I think
We're coming up on 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and up on screen you can see Stein in the upper left, Heya in the middle, Thule in the upper right. In the lower left, we have Valentina, Vanja, and Victor in the lower right-hand corner, starting to build things together. Looking at Victor's table, I think there might be a couple of birds involved.
Okay, and the red stripe, I think, is a fish.
Oh, it's a fish.
I think it's a fish. I've just looked on Rachel's table, and she has got a fish in front of her.
Okay.
So we've got a fish in a sky.
So we might have an underwater scene situation developing here.
Yes, we have a fish.
That's really exciting.
I'm just seeing what can you see anything that looks like what the yellow might be? Let's see. I'm just trying to look around.
Well, Thule's in the upper right. You can see that fish it's a big yellow fish. It might be some kind of flounder as well. So this might be one of those scattered collage underwater scenes that we see all over the place. Placing these fish is going to be wildly difficult.
Yeah. Yes, I think people will get. Yes, no, I can see a couple. Katharina, I can see, has got her fish together. Her two yellow pieces together. I'm just going to try and get a better view of those, but it's so we've got definitely. I think it's going to be fish, Jim, not Pokemon's. Not Dr. Seuss characters.
What is a fish but a Pokemon that's just a little more realistic, right? It has water powers, they have gills, it's great. But yeah, you can see that some of these objects, they have this white outline around where the color is. I think that's going to be really, really good for helping to define what the shape of the thing is. And that's one of the most difficult things when you're doing an unboxed is how can I outline things in such a way that I can then make progress on it going forward. Really, really tricky stuff. You can see up on screen now, we have in the upper left, Zenthia, and I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct name. In the upper middle, we have Abigail, followed by Anna. Then the lower left, we have Anna M, then Anna L, and in the lower right, I think that's Barbara Klein.
Big shout out to Abby, who was one of my team's partners last year at Worlds. So come on, Abby, you're doing great. So I can see the purple, there's a green fish with a purple head from the looks of it, and possibly another big purple patch and two separate areas of yellow. The yellow areas, I can't, I'm just trying to look on some of the screens to see whether anyone has done those and they actually do look like fish or whether there's something separate. I'm struggling to see that, but certainly, there's a lot of. I guess with the nice thing with this, I think unboxed puzzles. Based on very, very limited data set, feature building seems to be the nicest form to do. If you've got ones that you can repeatedly go back and do 20 to 50 pieces of features, and just work your way through the 500 pieces, ideally with a bit of border, I think they seem perfect for unboxed. I think. If you're doing things other than that, it becomes a bit more of sadistic puzzle setting, I think. I think this looks great. Proper good features there for people to focus on, get them built out, and then fill in the matrices in between. Yeah, that's nice work.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where if you rely heavily on pick and place or using the image of the box to set yourself up, it might drive you a little bonkers because you try to place things where they're going to go. And if that's not where they end up, you may get a lot of scattershot. I see several puzzlers doing a pretty hefty sort, and I think that will allow them to zipper through those features or those islands pretty quickly, and then they can make some attachments. On screen now, you can see in the upper left, that's Bridget Kolb, followed by Camille. In the upper right, it's Kiara D. In the lower left, Christina, followed by, I think that's, can't quite see the name on the background, unfortunately. Dimer, I believe. I'm sorry for getting the name mixed up. And over on the lower right, it's Dora.
And Kiara looks like she's got her yellow areas all finished there, and then she's building on a card, and she's got the card is actually on top of the red fish, which is already done underneath. I can see there. So one of the things also I found today, and especially, I mean, one of the reasons why I think there's a lot of popularity for this is obviously this is one of the 6 challenges in the World Series coming up, is going to be space management, because especially with feature building, it's okay to build the features, but you're not quite sure where they go, and then you're beginning to chew up your table space with done pieces. And I think this might well be. I know a lot of our top puzzlers don't use cards or boards, but where a lot of people might actually use cards and boards to do their builds and then give them that bit of extra space to work their pieces around. I can see certainly there's a few people working with cards and boards today.
Yeah, using a board as a way to maintain space is great. You can see in the lower middle there, that's Deitmer doing a great job getting that red fish worked out. And you can see that they've scattered a lot of their pieces to the top of their build field above where they're going to start working. That kind of helps them maintain a little bit of control. Dora on the right, you can see that she's doing a little bit of what we sometimes called chaos puzzling. Instead of making a really distinct zone between the build field and where their pieces are doing little chunks inside of the pile itself to make progress. Really, really cool move, and we've seen a lot of puzzlers have success with that. I think whenever it comes to Unboxed, you kind of run into options of either doing a lot of feature building or relying on some chaos puzzling, so that way you're not making a ton of extra touches on the pieces as you go.
And I guess while we're on the subject of the World Series, I think there are still a few tickets available. I think it'd be very good if that could get sold out. So if anyone's thinking about it, I think that they're still keen to get people to sign up and go along. And well, the reason I did an unboxed one today, Jim, is I have decided to go.
Oh, congratulations!
I've got to prop up one end of the table. It's not going to be the top end.
You're gonna have such a great time, and doing these unboxed puzzles, it's great practice for World Series. On screen now we have Eileen followed by Elka, Emily in the upper right. In the lower left we have Exter followed by Evely and Iwa in the lower right hand side. And you can see that there's so many different tactics here. Iwa in the lower right is doing a pretty hefty sort of these bigger colors early on. And you can see that there's a big purple splotch coming together pretty quickly. We're coming up on the 13-minute line here, and Esther in the lower left-hand corner has done the red fish and the yellow fish. I think one of the things that are really going to trip people up on this one is where are these fish going to connect to each other in order to be able to fill the space between everything. That's going to be one of the most difficult parts of this unboxed puzzle, is how do you set this up in order to get the interstitial area between all these fish.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key. It's going to be interesting whether people will do the features, because I think what I'm guessing is that people will start to run out of features, and then what next? Whether people then start to try and look at those interstitial pieces and the sort of matrix background, or whether they go for their edge then and just sort of power build their edge. And see if they can go in from there. But certainly a few people are looking a little bit more advanced, trying to get some of those features together. Looking at Rachel Chambers, she's got quite a lot of her fish built now, and she's just still got her yellow fish still to go, but she's got most of the other fish that I can see pretty well set up in the middle there. And it does look like it'd be interesting what the orientation is, whether all these fish are swimming in the same direction, or whether they're, or even if they're all swimming, in a horizontal plane, or whether there's some going up or down. I think this could be quite interesting seeing how they all fit together.
On screen now in the upper left, we have Fenna followed by Gromeister, and then Inga S in the upper right. In the lower left, we have Inga S as well, and then Inka followed by Isabella or Isa in the lower right-hand side, also known as Radical Puzzler on Twitch. Fantastic human being. And you can see that, again, there's so many different tactics. If you look at the upper right-hand screen for Inga, some of these fish seem a little bit closer together than they initially appear. So looking for those join points is going to be really important. You can see that those two yellowfish are clearly going in different directions, but there is some connective tissue between a couple of them. And being able to find that, target it, and then build off of it right away is going to give you such a huge advantage going into the mid-level of this puzzle, where there's going to be a lot of confusion on placement.
There's lots of
The eagle in the lower right, trying to finish up as many of those fish as possible before moving on. Growmeister, doing a great job, has lined up several of those fish, and I think they're almost at the point where they might start pulling some of that purple in the back and try to make that one more fish that's sitting there in order to wrap up this particular stage before moving on to the figuring out how all of that water is going to stick together.
And from the last people on the screen, I think we can work out, just that those yellow are those fish with the they're almost entirely yellow, just with the little black eye. So any fish fans out there in the chat would love to know what the names of some of these fish are. I think they do look like they are all real fish.
Yeah. In the upper left-hand corner, we have Eva, followed by Jay Katarina, and in the upper right, Jasmine Lambert. In the lower left, Yada, sorry. In the lower middle, it's Jenny, and in the lower right hand, it's Jen Sipple. Everybody's going to town on this puzzle as we're getting ready to cross the 17-minute line. Usually, we would have seen a big border built. We would have seen several islands already made and working out. Here, almost nobody has gone for the border early, and I think that's a really great call, because where would you put stuff in the build field? You can see that you can see that where people are putting their piles is really affecting the way in which they're trying to build things. Several people have their pile off to one side, whereas Jenny in the middle has those pieces kind of swirled almost rainbow style around the middle. Easy access, but also easy to make a split pile.
Yeah, you don't want to be moving your pieces around too many times. That's valuable time wasted, isn't it? I can see it now. Also, there's a purple, what looks like a triggerfish, and possibly an eel. I think I can see going in. It's like a grey eel. I think a few of the more advanced puzzlers might be, people who are ahead are getting those together.
Somebody in the comments was saying, since I don't have to speed puzzle this right now, I can say that it looks like a very pretty blue. I think that's an astute comment. There is a lot of good blue in there. And Sergio was saying, I wish I could go to the World Series. There's still time to sign up. You're more than welcome to do so.
I think it would be a major triumph for the World Series if they can sell out, and it helps to, obviously, it helps to raise the funds for it, which means it's much more likely to happen again. So we'd be very keen for supporting the community if we can get one or two more people. If puzzlers as low skilled as myself are going along, I think that shouldn't be a worry anymore. I think a lot of people had reservations about what the standard needed to be, but I think the organisers would be very keen now to get the tickets sorted out, and so come along. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Sergio just has other plans, but what plans could be more important than puzzling? And on the screen now, in the upper left, we have Jenny, followed by Jessica. In the upper right, Jessica W. In the lower left, Jody Parker. In the lower middle, we have Jorn S. And in the lower right, we have Yaka Surini. Everybody has a lot of the initial fish built out at this point. I think that red stripy fish has gone in. The two yellow fish, that's such a large chunk of color all at once, and I'm surprised how quickly those have come together. But you can see that there's going to be a really tricky stage here, where after these fish are built, how do you make that interstitial area between all of this fill out? And I think that's where we're going to see a really big slowdown in this particular puzzle competition.
And I'm just looking at Victor, Kristen, and Rachel on my screen, on my other screen at the moment, and certainly looks like they're all tackling it in a slightly different way. Kristen has got quite a lot of the fish together and has actually started to even get some of the fish joined together. Rachel seems to have more of the non-yellow fish and is now working on the yellow fish. and they're probably both slightly ahead of Victor, I'd say, at the moment, although he's beginning to start to join his fish together really nicely there.
It only takes a few seconds to catch up. And for those listening, I don't believe that this is. I think this is a puzzle that's already out on the circuit. So some people may have seen this one before, but it's always hard to do a puzzle that you don't have the image for, that you may be misremembering or confusing with something else. So on screen now, we have Katarina in the upper left, Kati in the upper middle, in the upper right, Kirsten Glazer. In the lower left, we have Kinga, followed by Kristen Tuve, and in the lower right, Christian N. Everybody's doing a really great job here. I think Christian is in the lead in terms of having the most joins, but looking at Kristen's setup, I think that there might be more fish totally together. So once she figures out the joins, I think she might have a setup. Oh, and Guzza Gaming's correcting me. It is an unpublished one. My sincerest apologies. I got it confused with another thing going on. This is an unreleased puzzle, so everybody is having a first look at this, and they're doing a great job here. You can see Kristen doing a really big switcheroo, trying to find the join connections on this.
Mm. What's very interesting about watching an unboxed puzzle like this with so many colourful features is, normally when you're commentating or watching a big puzzle or competition going, is you just see everything in roughly the same place, being built in the same way. And now we've got sort of like a red fish over, in a different position on everybody else's, and a yellow fish over somewhere else. And slowly, can see them starting to get some of them together and organised. The answer to that, are they all swimming the same way, is a strong no. They're definitely swimming in all directions.
Oh yeah, and you can see that your comment earlier about should this be in like a landscape setup or a portrait setup. This is a portrait setup of an underwater scene, which is really, really fascinating. And I think it'll throw some people for a loop, because they'll keep trying to like put things to left or right rather than up and down, and it'll take a little bit of fixing to get used to that. But Christian is swimming through a lot of this puzzle at this stage. You can see that he already sorted out a lot of the edges and is now going to go to work on that on that area between things, trying to fill in the gaps. Coming up on screen now, in the upper left, we have Lisa, followed by Lydia and Madara in the upper right. In the lower left, we have Magdalene, I think that's Marguerite, and Maya in the lower right-hand side. Maya has a couple of mascots, keeping the intensity on board as this puzzle crosses the 23-minute limit.
Yeah,
they're doing a great job. I know several of these puzzlers might start thinking, what are we going to do once the fish are done? You're going to have to deal with the water. That's where we're going to be at. But it's really fascinating to see how, even as these puzzlers are cruising through the stage, there's still little distinctions that can be made. There's those dark purples and dark blues. Some of those pieces are sitting just waiting to get filled out.
Yeah, we can see lots of our top puzzles are beginning to get the connection between the different fish now, and get the general orientation of the puzzle.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that some of the puzzlers that are thinking that this is still in landscape might notice that something fishy is going on, and hopefully will be able to reset themselves a little bit. In the on screen now, in the upper left, we have Maya. In the upper middle, Melina. In the upper right, Montas. In the lower left, we have Mari Black. I know her. In the lower middle, we have Maria. And in the lower right, we have Marta B. Everybody's doing a really, really swell job at this stage. You can see in the upper right, Montas is at that point of trying to figure out how to join these fish together. What is the order that they need to go in order to get to that final stage of being able to do fill-in?
So, Jim, we did 27 minutes without a fish pun. and then you blew it.
I did what I could. I did what I could.
Oh well, it had to happen. Boy.
Oh wow. In the lower left, you can see Mari Black's doing a great job trying to get those joins between the fish worked out. I think that's going to be a really important stage for folks, and I think that's where we'll see an initial slowdown just to get over that hump, and then the next one will be how to fill everything in. But you're going to be able to do a lot of shape work at that stage, so don't fear the blue just yet. I think I saw a shark in there as well. We may have to go at a series of shark facts before too long.
I thought it was an eel, but it looks like a pipefish. There's a grey pipefish. I can see a few people have got in. You can see on the screen there. Just trying to see whose that is. Nina, who's on the screen. You can see the pipefish at the bottom, just below her redfish.
Oh wow! I didn't know that fish could smoke. I thought the fire was really difficult underwater. But here we are, watching this. You can see in the upper left-hand corner. I think that's Moika. In the upper middle, Nadia, followed by Nicole. In the lower left, Nina doing a great job. Nina T in the lower middle, and Noura in the lower right. Everybody is almost at the stage where most of the fish are built here as we're crossing. As we're getting ready to cross the 30-minute line.
I think the enjoyable bit is now over. Just got to plow on to the finish and the solution now.
Yeah, there's always that stage after you get the first few really strong pulls, where you reach the murk, where there's not good options. So you have to start figuring out, how am I going to enter this next stage of the puzzle? And that's where the real that's what separates a lot of fantastic puzzlers from the from the S tier puzzlers.
I think it does look like some of the edge has got some little bits of white on the tabs, because each fish looks like it's surrounded by a white rim. So I think that will help. They're not all just one color of the blue. So I think that will help getting some of the placement, and then that will allow people to then fill the gaps after that.
Coming up on screen now, in the upper left we have Nina S. In the upper middle we have Victor. In the lower left we have Kristen, Christian, and Kati, and these are currently the folks that are in the lead at this stage.
And it certainly looks like all we're left with is filling the inner blue and getting that edge in for some of these puzzlers now. No other obvious features left to build on Victor's puzzle, and Christian already looks like he's working his way around trying to get some of those edge pieces in.
Yeah.
Probably would say Christian looks slightly ahead of everybody else, and we're at about just gone 28 minutes on the clock. So terrific work there.
I'm having a little bit of a
So Christian's probably got 50 pieces left to go, some in the middle, but mainly just filling that edge in. And looks a little bit ahead of Victor. Victor's still got some coloured parts to get in, but Christian looks like he's just getting pretty well just the blue bits in now. His usual style of very fast-moving hands hovering over the puzzle. We're expecting a relatively fast finish, although this finish is obviously much harder. And it looks like we may have lost Jim for a bit.
Sorry about that. Yes, I had to reload the frame for one reason or another. But you can see Christian has almost the entire middle worked out, and now can just plug in the rest of the border. He is flying through this right now. I think he's gotten so he did such a great job being able to get that shape work out of the way that now he can just kind of typewriter his way around the outside of this puzzle.
And Michelle's just informed us that this puzzle has 120 blue pieces out of 500 pieces.
Oh gosh, that is a rough go right there if you're in it right now. But we can see that Christian is cruising through towards the end of this. Victor, not too far behind, has some of that middle left to fill out with the shape work. We're crossing the 30-minute line, and this is really impressive. You can see Kristen in the upper right. Usually Kristen is considered one of the top pick and place puzzlers, but clearly she has skills far beyond just that, in that she was able to get those fish sorted and zippered through really, really rapidly. This is really fantastic puzzling by everybody involved.
Yeah, zippering's the right word. I think Kristen was pretty well one of the first people I saw doing that. Actually getting her fish into groups of more than just single features. Very nice work. Because one or two puzzlers have just gone upside down and are sticking with being upside down.
Yeah, that's part of the fun thing. Whenever you have something that's that doesn't have the image, the direction doesn't quite matter all that much.
No. Especially when they're all sort of higgledy-piggledy like this. It's yeah.
On screen, you can see Victor, Kristen, Christian, Olivia in the lower left, Magdalene. Everybody's doing a great job. But Christian is coming into the close here as we're getting. Is he going to be able to keep this under the 33-minute line? We're going to find out. This is cutting it close because we just crossed 31:40 in this particular competition.
Yeah.
You can see how quickly both Victor and Christian are moving their hands, but Kristen's hand speed has also picked up quite a bit. She only has a few pieces left in the middle of the puzzle to finish up, but I think Christian is down to maybe the last 15, 20 pieces worth of edge, and you can see he just picks up a quick handful and starts sinking them in around the outside as quickly as he can.
Yeah, it's amazing. I almost always, when I watch Christian finishing a puzzle, think that it's speeded up. I often show his world performance to show people how quickly the hands move. And there we go. Last few pieces.
Yeah, there's the last couple. And you can see he uses his left hand to just Pez to Spencer that piece into the right, sinks it into the last couple, and now he's just got to get those last three in. Can he keep it under 33? And he certainly does. Congratulations, Christian. Very, very well done.
Well done, Christian. Excellent. Terrific performance.
A fabulous finish. But now look at how much Kristen has accelerated coming into this. There's only some of the border remaining for Kristen. I think it's mostly on that right-hand side. But she is going around typewriter finishing this up very, very rapidly. You can see that Victor still has some of that middle to work out. It can be so difficult to try to brute force that shape whenever it's in the middle. There's tiny little bits of color, but because it's so spread out, it makes it really difficult whenever you haven't been mapping the image the entire time and have been having to shuffle and replace and move. And one of the things that makes all these puzzlers really strong is their ability to remember where things sit inside of a frame. And if you've been shuffling it, it kind of takes away your superpower a little bit. But look at them just flying. Kristen, so methodical as she places each of those pieces. She doesn't necessarily have the same physicality, hand speed, but she is so gosh darn accurate. Every time she picks up a piece, it is going to go in somewhere no matter what.
Yeah, it's amazing economy of movement.
So good. We can see Kristen getting ready to close out. Sammy Brownlow in the upper right doing a great job. Rachel Chambers also getting ready to finish up the middle and start working on the border. Nina in the lower middle has that arrangement going, and Olivia is also coming into the end, just working out those middle bits. We can see Victor has now finished most of the majority of the body water in the middle, but I think Kristen has a healthy enough lead that she's going to be able to secure second place here.
Yeah, I think Kristen's pretty well there. Last few pieces of edge going in. Victor's still working on his edge, but that would look like our second and third front runners at the moment.
There we are. It's always so fun to watch Kristen's puzzling. I just get a kick out of it because you think that it's not going as fast as it is. You look at the hand speed and it's like, okay, this one's going in, but she's so accurate that the overall piece per minute is just off the charts. And she's going to close this out. Is she going to be able to keep this under the 35-30 line? She has 3 pieces remaining. She gets it in. She hits the buzzer. I think it 35, 28, or 29. We'll double check the final results, but congratulations, Kristen, on an excellent move.
Well done, Kristen. Terrific puzzling. So Mari's puzzling upside down as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mari has figured out what the orientation of this one's going to be, and that might be causing a little bit of slow. There's the big join for Mari, and so she's going to be able to make the place and then get on to the brute forcing of that middle in order to carry on at this point. Everybody's doing a really good job. Victor starting to come in to the last, I want to say 50 pieces or so of that edge. He's just going to start picking one up and doing that typewriter around the outside, not really wasting a lot of time trying to figure out where he's going to go. Kati is doing an excellent job as well. You can see she only has a little bit of fill-in left remaining, and then is going to be able to move on to the border as well. Some Guzza in the chat was saying, fantastic finish for Christian. He'll be delighted with that. I adore everything about that sentence and cannot understate my excitement for all of those puns.
Okay, so I've got further to our theme for the day. There's a manta ray in this, and for quite a bit, I thought it looked like Baby Yoda.
You know, I totally see how both of those things happen. Anytime something has long ears and a small head, I think Yoda or Baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever his code name is this week. Really, really cool. I think somebody in the chat earlier was mentioning that when you're doing the border, sometimes trying to find any piece that has a little tiny bit of information on it can limit the number of options that you're searching for. You can see Victor chewing through the rest of this edge very, very quickly. I think he's going to secure third place here. And yes, people in the chat were asking what's the name of the puzzle and the brand. It's Hawai'i Reef, and it is the Speedpuzzle brand with the artist Jessica Murray. Great finish. Is Victor going to be able to keep this down under the 38-30 line? I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to get it. He's down to the last 3 pieces. Just has to get him in. He has 1 piece sitting on top of the puzzle. Sinks it, that last one, and then he hits it at 38-20, I want to say. It might be a little off. We'll double check the official results. Great job there, Victor, on that close. Very, very well done.
Terrific puzzling. Well done, Victor. Bit of a star-studded field today.
I'm genuinely impressed with the speed that so many of these puzzlers have right now. It's so difficult to do an image it's so difficult to do a puzzle that doesn't have an image, let alone one where you don't know the orientation or anything else about it. But several of these puzzlers are starting to come into the close. We can see that Kati and Rachel Chambers are about neck and neck trying to come into the finish of this.
Yeah, this looks like this is a terrific battle. Probably this is the battle for 4th place. I think but they're very close. I think Cathy's probably 5 to 10 pieces ahead, I would say. But
yeah, this is going to become a game of who's going to be able to keep the gas going as quickly as possible in the end and brute force this edge as quickly as possible. We know that these folks have been puzzling for over 38 minutes. Usually fatigue starts setting in around the 30, and especially whenever you have 120 pieces that are just blue. You have to be able to fight through that slog of, am I going to be able to get this done? Are your eyes starting to cross, starting to move over? But you can see Kati is using both hands so effectively here. She picks up with the left and the right in order to sink a piece and moves all the way around the border so quickly. She is getting a huge lead over top of Rachel coming into the next position. And that is just beautiful puzzling by Kati right now. Oh, there she gets the corner piece in. There's only maybe about 10 pieces remaining. You'd see she's just going left and right. She's not picking up a piece with one hand and feeding it into the other, which a lot of puzzlers do. She's being so controlled every step of the way. If she picks up a piece, it's going in. She's coming into the final handful of pieces. Is she going to be able to keep this under the next 40-minute and 41-minute line? Absolutely, she's going to be able to do it. Get that last one in, hits the buzzer. Congratulations, Kati. 40 minutes and about 45 seconds. Rachel Chambers getting ready to line up for a top 5 finish here. This is really exciting, seeing everybody blitz into the end.
Yeah. And Nina looks like she's not far off.
Oh, yeah. Nina looks like she has finished most of the middle pieces of that puzzle and is now moving on to the border. Is she going to be able to accelerate into the end here in order to get those last bits, in order to be able to get this last round of pieces in? This is really exciting. This is where you have to dig deep and decide, how am I going to approach this particular chunk of the puzzle? Am I going to be able to make significant progress on here? We know that we can see that Olivia is doing a great job as well. Jasmine Lambert coming into that last chunk of blue that's going to be rattling everybody down to the core. Rachel Chambers has maybe about 20 pieces remaining. She is flying right now. Inga also up to just the border. This is going to be a battle of brute force speed. Who is going to be able to have the accuracy and the physicality in order to lock up the top 10 slots? Nina doing an excellent job coming into the end here. Shay Burkett in the upper right-hand corner. You can see that she's doing a great job. Is also down to just the edge pieces. I'm trying to pull everybody up on a smaller screen so I can get a better look. But this is exciting to see how this is going to shape up.
Yeah, we've got a few very close. I think we're going to have finishers coming thick and fast. Rachel's just down her last few pieces now. Last one's going in, and Rachel is done.
Congratulations, Rachel.
Well done, Rachel. Very nice. Solid.
There we go. Yeah, now we're having a pretty good look at the next stage of things. We can see Inga's doing a great job. There's more border coming off. Inga S in the lower left-hand corner. We were talking earlier about using a tray to save yourself some space. Such a cool move to put the entire tray in the middle of the puzzle so that way you can reach for the pieces and just deliver them to the outside. It saves an economy of movement, but isn't going to be enough to allow her to accelerate into the end here. We're going to find out. Nina S coming into the final, I want to say 30 pieces or so. It's not that much. We can see Mari Black has also started working on the outer edge. This is going to be really, really exciting to see how everything shapes up. Shay Burkett, I think, has maybe 15 pieces remaining of this border. I think Shay is accelerating into the end and might be able to overtake Olivia at this point.
Inga is down to her last 5 pieces, I think. And last one's going in for Inga. It's very close between Inga and Nina. I think Inga is just going to get it.
Yeah, Inga looks like she has a better thread on where those last couple of pieces are going to go.
And Inga's done.
Congratulations, Inga. Very, very fantastic finish.
Gosh. These are some amazing times, considering people starting off with no No view of the image. I
It's
wonder what
amazing
time.
times for puzzling in general, let alone if you have the
Yeah.
image or not,
Yeah.
right?
I wonder what
Like-
time people would have achieved on this puzzle with the image, and whether it would have been much
Oh.
different.
I think for a lot of people, it would have shaved off a chunk. And there's Shay with a fantastic finish. Congratulations. We are
Yeah.
coming up on the 44-minute and 30-second line, getting ready to just pass that. Everybody's doing a great job. I want to keep rooting for people to go as best as you can. As a reference point, Michelle's pointing out that you go to finish this in 34 minutes with the image. So this is a pretty tricky puzzle under the best of circumstances.
Gosh. Yeah. I mean, if you think about what it is that's going to help you by seeing the image, I think that the feature building with the saturated colors, I think people will do in a fairly similar time. Might be a little bit faster. It might be with a reference, some of the sort of blacker gray areas might help people pull a little bit quicker. And then you're into the blue where it's not really going to help you very much at all. So it probably is quite a leveling one for unboxed or boxed.
Olivia gets the last 3 pieces in, and she clocks in at about 45:36 or 38 or so. Congratulations. That was really, really well done. And now on screen, we can see Kristen Glazer in the upper middle, Maya in the upper right, working just on the border pieces, Jasmine Lambert in the lower left, also coming into the end, Mari Black in the lower middle, trying to get that border wrapped up, and Inga S. using that center puzzle tray to deliver the edge pieces. This is going to be really, really tight to see who else can finish in the top 10. Who is going to be able to get that physicality and the accuracy to close this out? It looks like Mari Black and Jasmine Lambert are about even right now. Kirsten Glazer, I can't quite see how many pieces they have left, but everybody is flying as quickly as they can. This is going to be really exciting coming into the end here.
Yeah, there's going to be some very tight finishes here, very close times. A lot of people down to their last sort of 20, 25 pieces or so.
Yeah. You can see Mari Black, every so often she picks up a piece, tries to put it in a spot, and if it doesn't go in, she returns it to where it was rather than moving on. That might cause just enough of a time difference that Jasmine can get ahead. Jasmine taking a piece, you can see that the adrenaline is starting to hit her a little bit. You can see the hand shaking just a hair. I think Mari Black has the piece count advantage at this point, unless there's more pieces over on the left-hand side that we can't see. Kirsten Glazer doing a great job as well coming into the end. I think Kirsten has maybe about 25, 30 pieces remaining. Mari Black down to maybe about 15. Jasmine has, Jasmine has about 30 pieces remaining. This is going to be really, really exciting to see the close. Sammy Brownlow in the lower middle now also coming in on just the border work. This is a study in physicality and accuracy, and how are you going to do something that's difficult? We have puzzlers so many times say, how do I handle things that are all the same, or it's the Merc? You push through it with accuracy and physicality as much as you can in order to keep that ball rolling.
It's that's astonishing. We've got so many people just look very close.
It's too close to call. We're coming up on the 48-minute line. I wonder if we're going to have more finishers under the 50. You can see that Jasmine starting to accelerate into the end. She has a bead on that right-hand side. She's doing so well. Mari Black down to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe about 10 pieces. Just needs to get them in the next minute or so in order to keep this under the 50-minute line. But this is so difficult in order to pull this off. Everybody's doing a great job. You can see Maya P in the lower right-hand corner also has so much of the border done, did a lot of the border rather than just the middle, but she's coming into the close as well. Sammy Brownlow accelerating into this. Physicality flying right now.
Yeah,
Mari Black hits the buzzer. Congratulations. Just ahead.
Very nice. And then there's just a few pieces in it.
We can see Sammy Brownlow coming into the last handful of pieces. Is she going to be able to stay ahead of Jasmine Lambert? I think Jasmine has most of those pieces down all on one side. Who's going to be able to get that little bit of edge? I think Maya is accelerating. Maya pulls ahead, has only 3 or 4 pieces remaining, might be able to sink the rest of them. going into this last bit, that fatigue has got to be so difficult. Maya hits the buzzer. Congratulations. And Sammy Brownlow hits it as well under the 50-minute line. Congratulations. This is absolutely thrilling to see this combination of brute force, accuracy, and physicality all coming together. Several of these puzzles were at about the same point whenever they started this, and that makes a huge difference. Inca also makes an appearance here and finishes up the puzzle. And congratulations to Jasmine Lambert, a fantastic close on a very, very difficult puzzle. 120 pieces of just blue is a slog to try to dig through.
We must have rounded out our top 10 now, I'd have thought, haven't we? I think we've certainly had 10 finishes. So that's still super impressive.
And now we're just going to keep rolling in with them over time.
Yeah.
Really, really, really amazing. I do want to read out a couple of things. When we were asking about what do you see differently, what do you see? What have you seen in a puzzle that turned out to be different than you expected? Victor is saying that he actually solved a puzzle without an image, and even before completing it, didn't realize what it was. It was fun to do color stripes, but for him, it was an abstract image without any sense to the color blocks he was working on. And after learning the name of the puzzle and turning it 90 degrees, the puzzle was called Rainbow Staircase.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense for how he was working through it.
I did go and look that up, and I can quite understand it, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of people with a lot of fish nicely placed, just working on these blue pieces for quite a bit of the time that's remaining. And still absolutely lots of time for everybody to get finished. Do you think we'll clear the room today, Jim?
I'm always optimistic. I hope it happens. I think that 120 pieces of pure blue might prove difficult for some people, but I desperately want it to happen. We can see so many people have gotten all of the fish locked in. And so now it's just a game of getting that accuracy and using the shape work to really help inform the middle parts of the puzzle, and then getting to that edge and just going pure typewriter around it. You can see in the upper left, Yorn's doing a great job. Jessica W is also coming into the end. Stephanie, Maria, and Tuli everybody's doing excellent trying to wrap this up.
Basically, it's a fairly easy 380-piece puzzle, and then a 120-piece crypt.
That is a great description of it.
But I'd rather do a 120-piece crypt than a full crypt. Oh, there's a lot of confidence in the chat that we'll clear the room.
Well, I know the puzzlers aren't listening to us right now, but I hope that they know that even the chat is rooting for them.
Yeah.
And this is going to be excellent. We are coming up on the 53-minute line. I wonder how many more finishers we're going to have under the hour line. Right now, it looks like we have 23 finishers out of the 80 so far. Just as a quick recap, Christian had a time of 32:43, followed by Kristen at 35:29. Victor 38:17, Kati at 40:44, Rachel Chambers 42:24, Maya 42:48, Inga 43:56, Kiara 44:24, Nina at 44:28, and Shay at 44:28. Rounding out our top 10. I'll be back here in just a second.
There's some terrific work now. Looking like most people have got most of the features done. Looking around the room, and we've certainly got a fair few people on the screen now coming into their finishes. getting those last few edge pieces in. Interesting. I can see Maria she's restricting the size of the table she can use. So I think she genuinely might have measured that out to be an 80 by 90 centimeter tabletop, which is what people will be allowed at World Series, just to be able to properly practice the discipline of doing the space control and working within that tight restricted space that we're all going to have. Because I think some of the people were working on full tabletops and there's quite a bit of sprawl going on, but interesting that Maria's choosing to properly restrict herself to exam conditions.
You're absolutely right. Getting used to what the format and space, the space relationship that you're going to have in a big event is really important. I know a lot of puzzlers like to use the luxuriousness of a huge table to get themselves going, and then feel really restricted whenever they're in a live environment, or vice versa. A lot of puzzlers are also in a position where the table that they use happens to be super duper small or round even, and so getting used to something that's a little different becomes really important to do. But I think your description of 380 pieces that are just lovely to work on is true. And now a lot of these puzzlers are into the blue, are into the blue water sky. We'd see Yorn on screen here. I just wanted to read a couple of the misunderstood images that we've seen before. Thule has mentioned that when they were puzzling Ravensburger's Fiesta Time and was very confused about why there was a figure skater's costume among all the food. Well, it turned out it was a Mexican hat. That's an easy mistake to do with that particular Fiesta Time. I totally understand how that happened with the sequence on there. It could look like a figure skater or the Mexican hat. The other one that they have is with Ravensburger's Gourmetti, the New Era. They did the puzzle vertically because their brain was convinced that green equals grass, had no idea that the image was supposed to be until it was finished. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I looked at that. There's the 5 pillars of that, and there's the green one on the right, and I could quite see how you'd immediately start to think that's the front. And then it makes it quite a challenging puzzle to do on its side.
Well, I'm gonna invite on somebody to have a quick interview with us. Our top 3 podium have headed out, but Mari, if you're on, do you want to come chat for a little bit?
I'm here, and it just occurred to me I could have used my geographical advantage and just appeared next to Jim on his couch in the commentation den, but I sat off of my puzzle because that's my place. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mari.
So fun to be hanging out with the king of puzzle chicken and the man who owns literally 2 chicken hats. Quite the company.
I did have I have got my chicken hat.
Oh, I was talking about Jim owns 2 chicken. The king of puzzle chicken owns multiple chicken hats.
I also have 2. I have 2 chicken hats as well.
Oh no! You're gonna have a chicken hat off between the 2 of you.
I cede all chickenness to James.
Yes. Yeah. Now we might be. I can do my shameless plug for nationals whilst we're on, as wear my other hat as Secretary of the UK JPA. That we've got nationals in April, and I think there's a small chance we might be seeing you guys, maybe.
Small chance.
So I think there's still some tickets available. I think 1 or 2 of the pairs has got quite near to sold out, or may have sold out. But I think there certainly will be people looking for pairs partners as well. So there definitely is the option for coming over and probably getting involved with all the events. We're running individuals, pairs, and teams. So, and we've definitely got a few international visitors coming over. So that's the 18th to the 19th, I think, of April in Bradford in the north of England for UK nationals. That's my business bit done.
It was an excellent plug, and I think it's going to be a really fun event.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great.
Somebody in the chat was asking, why is the other box in the end beside the puzzle? Mari, do you know why that box is there?
That box is there for every puzzler to prove that that is the box of the puzzle, and it's wrapped so we can't see the image, and we show the wrapped box at the end to show that we did this entire thing without the image, without knowing at all what it was, which is really fun. I've been practicing a lot of Unboxed lately, but I have been practicing images that you can kind of predict the directionality, right? When the pieces come out, you're looking at the pieces for clues to see what is this thing. I'm sure you guys were probably doing this the entire time we were puzzling. I had the commentary off as per the principles of the Unboxed, so I didn't get any hints. But, you know, you start seeing little flashes of things. I spent a long time during the flip thinking that this was an abstract flowers, because I saw those like balls, the black with a ball center and the spikes coming out.
Urchins, yeah.
Yeah, I thought those looked like dandelion things, and I was seeing limited pieces of bright colors, like the bright green and the bright orange. And then I saw a lot of bright yellow. So I'm thinking, oh, that might be flower centers, and then a bright yellow flower. So really, it was about a minute after the flip that I'm still thinking flowers, flowers, flowers. And I started putting together the bright green and a couple of the purples. And then all of a sudden I had a moment and I went, it's fish. And
Which fish? Which was the one that gave it away?
The one that gave it away, let's see. I had it was the red one. It was the red one. So I did the light purple fins. I thought those looked like petals. I did the bright green, and I knew at that point it probably wasn't flowers because it wasn't showing nice like centers of flowers. When I did the purples, I thought I had a butterfly on my hand. So I was still kind of thinking in that meadowscape.
Were you thinking sky then because of the blue? Was it like you're thinking?
No, I wasn't thinking sky because I mean, when you see the first couple pieces of blue, you always ask the question, is sky? And it wasn't, it's the wrong texture. And then you ask the next question, is water? And you look for things like waves and light, and it wasn't that. So I assumed the blue was just a background. So I knew I was looking at an abstract image, right? This is kind of the thought process as you go through. I'm sure everybody has their like triage of how they figure out what goes on. So I was a good 4. Oh, and I'd seen the little green seaweed. I didn't know if it was seaweeds or seaweed one, because it's so small. I assumed it was one, but then it kept not going together. So I'm like, there's got to be 2 of these. And it was the red stripes. I was doing the red stripes, and I found that, okay, here's red stripes bordered by black. Here's red stripes bordered by darker red. And the darker red started to make this mohawk shape. And that was the moment where I'm like, wait a minute, stripes plus mohawk plus, and then I got to the light red part. I'm like, it's an eyeball, it's a fish. And that was the moment I knew what I was doing.
Wasn't a punk rock version of Where's Wally?
It kind of. Well, it's also funny because in our household, Jim and I have a joke about fish, because early on when we knew each other, that was a thing where we were watching Star Wars, which he loves. And I also love, but I was calling every creature that swam fish. And Jim would go, no, not a fish. And then he'd give the correct Star Wars species for it. And then we got to the movie where the thing in the water is actually a fish. And I pointed at the screen and shouted. And Jim had to say, okay, fine, that one's a fish. So I thoroughly enjoyed this puzzle for that moment alone. And I'm sure Jim now will enjoy this puzzle for that moment alone.
Jim, have you any interest in doing this puzzle?
No. No. I do think that it was interesting. So many puzzlers approached it the way that I think is the most helpful, which is work on the features, maybe do a little sorting and get it rolling. Mari, I'm curious, at what point did you recognize the orientation was so significant? Because a lot of people bounced around and struggle with that, and we kind of saw your rotation into it, but like what triggered it?
Yeah, so this is also like the triage of like when you've done a lot of these, you know, your brain is thinking ahead and knowing what's probably going to happen long before it happened. So I did pull the border on the flip, thinking, hey, if I put the border in, then I have something to lock into. But a quick look at that group shows there are almost no distinguishing features on this border. It is just not worth the time. There's not a consistent gradient to it, so I had to put it aside, and that means you already have your antennas up, like I really got to work with orientation. So you're piecing together these objects. There was the, is it flowers? Is it flowers? Is this a butterfly? Oh my God, it's fish. Now I know I'm looking for fish. Now that realization only helped me for the next 6 to 7 minutes as I did the obvious fish. Which is to say the colorful ones, right? The bright yellows. Nice trick there, puzzle artist, to do 2 bright yellow fish of exactly the same bright yellow color. That's a very good trick for an unbox, because you have to figure out how quickly are those 2 separate things, right? Because you're always wondering, is this one thing or 2 things? If it's one thing, it's a good thing to do. If it's 2 things, you got a problem because they could be split. But when you get into the other fish, like the, you know, the gray shark and the, I still don't even know what this dark blue thing is. Horseshoe crab, hermit crab. It's not a stingray. Have we decided?
Which one?
Oh, maybe it is a stingray from the underside. The dark blue black. I'm just looking at it now. Talk about misnaming things, right? I didn't know what that was. I'm like, it looks like a weird winter hat with eyes.
The manta ray.
Is that what it is? All right, wonderful.
Or the baby Yoda.
Yeah. Oh, it does look like a baby Yoda. Wrong color, but right idea. And the super long fish, like once I saw that line, I'm like, oh, it's a long boy. And, you know, who knows, eel. But when you start piecing together fish, and you know fish could be swimming in any direction, and if I'm a puzzle artist and I've just made 2 yellow fish look like 1 yellow fish, I knew right away that there were going to be orientation challenges here. So while I'm building them, I'm looking for any tiny little clues, any tiny little tidbits of color that would tell me how groups of fish went together. Because when you're building chaotically without a frame like this, everything's kind of all over the place, but your brain remembers where you started things. So I knew that my tan and purple parrotfish was kind of on the left-hand side of the table. But once I figured out that that built into the border and that he was attached to the red, I had to start moving things around. And the challenge there is, once you move things that you've been working on in a specific place, your brain no longer knows where it is. So my fill-in was very, very slow, like painfully slow, because I had to move them to get them into orientation. There was just no way to tell early. I didn't know till after I finished and turned off my video that this was probably intended to be a vertical puzzle. I solved it landscape because that was the easiest way to move things around, because I was moving the fish around. Well, I still have a bunch of loose pieces on the table and my edge pile and all this stuff. So space is definitely an issue. When you're doing unbox, there's a huge advantage to being able to lock down the orientation early, so your brain doesn't then have to remap without the assistance of an image. So I got caught by that today, big time, and I imagine I had good company.
Now we've had a point of information from Michelle. Is apparently all the names of the fish are on the back of the box.
Where's my box? Well, this is going to be disappointing, because now I have to give up all the names that I had for these fish.
Could you just put that up at the camera so we can have a quick look?
Oh, the names of the fish. Oh, that's right, because you guys
don't scan down. So needlefish, squirrelfish, rock mover wrasse, yellow tang, triggerfish, saddle wrasse, boxfish, Galapagos shark, butterfly fish, manta ray parrotfish, pincushion starfish, edible algae, and a long-spined urchin.
I called none of these things any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was googling. Yeah.
Which one did you name Steve?
I did not name a Steve. I had Long Boy, I had Sharky Boy, I had Speckles, I had Yellow Mohawk, and I had Yellow Dum Dum. Because I now know it's a yellow tang, but he just looks like the lights are on in nobody's home. You know, that is a dopey fish. That little solid bright yellow. Yeah.
We've just gone past the 67 minutes and we've had 50 of 80 finishes, which is amazing, really, considering this is not an easy puzzle once you've got all the features in.
That is
Yeah.
fabulous work, everybody. So this is going to run very slow because of the orientation challenges. Like most of us are going to shift our usual time by a lot. So if you're still puzzling, please don't give up. Keep moving quickly. Look for tiny little tidbits and orient the puzzle however it makes the most sense to your brain. However you can get it the closest to your original build field. I find that very useful.
We were thinking with the edge, Murray, was it right that some of the tabs did have more than just blue on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
That should have helped me more than it did at that point because I had pushed so long. I had run out of my usual stamina, so I wasn't very clever with those tidbits as I usually am. That's usually something I really like to do, but for some reason in this edge, it was quite tricky. So it was excellent practice.
So you call those tidbits?
I call it a tidbit when there's just a tiny little clue of something, a little sliver hanging out on the side of a piece. Yeah, little tidbits.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Have
that.
you done? Has that been a terminology one yet?
It hasn't. Maybe we should. We're planning the next installment of Terminology Tuesdays. It's kind of turned out that we're doing them in batches, and it's made sense to kind of do them in, I guess, sort of like seasons of a TV show. That the last batch that we did was all kind of assembly strategies and table sets. And so we're coming up with the next little batch as well. But we'll put that on the list.
Love the Terminology Tuesdays.
Yeah, tidbit is a great one. That's some of the terms is a lot of times it just takes us a while to figure out how to film it and illustrate it really easily. So yeah.
Fantastic.
What did you guys, I'm curious because I didn't hear the commentary. How long did it take you before you figured out what the puzzle is? Because you're also watching like bursts of us. You don't have a puzzle in front of you.
My first guess, I wrote down Pokemon scene in the sky.
Oh.
And then I thought it was the red with the stripes looked a bit like a Dr. Seuss type character, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw Rachel Chambers got that red fish in. It was the first person I saw with the whole red fish done. And then you saw the yellow, Jim, didn't you? I'm trying to remember what you thought. The yellow was possibly bird wings, but I think we probably both hit on fish about the same time.
Yeah, I thought it was birds. I initially thought that with so much blue as people were flipping and the yellow that was in there, that it was going to be a like sun in the sky scene kind of set up, and then maybe the stripes were like building verticals, that kind of thing. And then it was like, well, maybe it's a bird, and then and then I can't remember whose screen we were on, but it was very clearly the red fish had gotten built out. It was pretty clear where it was headed to after that.
I would be curious to take a exit poll of the puzzlers who did this unboxed and see how many of us it was the red fish that looked like fish. Because when I'm looking at the puzzle and kind of analyzing each one, that's the only fish that has really like quintessential fish markings. Like if you were to draw a fish as a kindergartner, what would you draw? That one has all those features without being a split color. Because when you don't know what you're building, you're going to pull by color, right? So if you pull the bright green, you'll get like, I get now that those are supposed to be scales, but you're just seeing green with squiggly lines. And then the orange blocks you before you get to the head and the fin. So you don't get to puzzle through those like quintessential fish features. The red is the only one that lets you do that. Now I'm biased because that's how I saw it, but I'd be really curious to get an exit poll. I think a
lot of people got in on that red fish early. I think the lines really drew people in, and then building the solid blocks onto the lines. So I think that helped people. But I guess one fish doesn't make a picture of a lot of fish. I mean, it could have been many other things.
That's a good point. But once you have one fish of that size and you've already done a couple of other things, like once your brain is primed, then you know what you're looking for, and what was before squiggly lines now look like scales, right? So the trick is to have, I think with these things, is to have a hypothesis when you don't know what you're building. Always have a hypothesis, but never focus too hard on it, because you have to allow the puzzle to guide you. So I always think about, like, when I have a thought about what something might be a hypothesis, I kind of like squint my eyes at it. So like I have it there, but it's a little blurry, a little off in the distance. So I'm not trying to build something that isn't there. If I was thinking too hard about flowers, like I was thinking flowers, but if I had grabbed onto that with my whole like being when I was doing the yellow, I would have been trying to organize it into loopy petals, and it just doesn't work that way, right? So you have to keep your hypothesis to help you, but never hang on to it too hard, because you'll try to build something that isn't there.
Now, I think we just had a message through that Victor might have come back on the call.
Oh, talk to him. I would love to hear what Victor has to say about this. I'll bet $10 right now he did not build it vertically.
Let's see. Let's see if I can get Victor up.
Well, as James starts pulling that up, congratulations, Mari. That's a really wonderful time on a tricky puzzle. I don't know if you heard, there was 120 pieces of pure blue there at the end to slog through. So very, very well done. Are there any?
Oh, I didn't hear that number, but I was willing to bet there were at least 3,000 pieces of pure blue. So that's nice to hear there were so few compared to how it felt.
always good to round up to the nearest value that is the most.
Yes,
and not wrong.
Yeah, that's right rules.
But before we let you go, is there any shout outs you want to give to the puzzle world? Anything you want to tell people?
Well, Jim is my puzzle world, so there you go. I'll say we never get to talk to each other like this, so this is super fun. Really fun image. Anybody who's going, keep going. It feels long, it feels slow. Just push. It's long and slow for everybody, but it's a really fun image to practice on. And I'll say to Jim, I love you, and fish.
Okay. So I think whilst we've got Victor's come back onto the call, we're going to have a quick chat with Victor, and then we've got a nice surprise after that. We've got a special guest, I believe.
Thanks for chatting, guys.
Thanks,
Go fast,
Mari.
everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Victor. Can we see you? Are we allowed to see you, or are you?
I'm currently in a location that it's not possible for me to use a camera.
Hello again. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Actually, today I really have a very good puzzling day.
Yeah. We did read out your answer about the abstract image that ended up being the staircase, which we thought was terrific.
Yeah.
I did go back and have a look at that. I went and had a look at that painting, and I completely understand where you're coming from. So tell us about the fish today. At what point did you get the realization about what you were puzzling?
I think at the very beginning, after I took out the edge, I saw the red pieces, and I decided, okay, those probably go together like in one island, so I can start with that. And when I saw the stripes of the red fish and also the eye, I was like, oh, I think this is just a puzzle of multiple fish. Because I saw like the, not orange, yellow pieces and also some of the dots. So I was almost sure that it's going to be just a lot of different fish in different places. But I don't know why, but I always assumed that the puzzle is going to be vertical. With the unboxed. So here it was the same. And I was so excited that the fish in the very bottom right corner, it was, I think, the first one that I attached any of the edge pieces to. And on two sides. So I knew that it's going to be in the bottom right corner. So that was the anchor I had. From I think like the middle of the solve. Yeah, and the one thing that I left for last, except for the blue pieces, were the gray pieces from the shark. Because, and this is actually speaking from experience, we had a fish puzzle, also a vertical one, in Fish Nationals for pairs in the pronouns. It was very similar to this, but a lot of fish, and I would say more of them, and also a lot of similar fish. On the contrary to this one. So I assume that the gray pieces are going to be in multiple fish and not one fish.
So I presume you're practicing a few unboxed now. I was wondering if, apart from the obvious one of not knowing what the images are, whether you're finding unboxed puzzling to be a sort of separate discipline, whether there's anything in addition to just not knowing the image that you're having to find out about or work around.
I think now it doesn't really make that much of a difference for me. But at the very beginning, it was actually around the time that the first unbox competition for Speedpuzzle Europe was done, and I was co-hosting with Jim. I was very scared of this concept, and then after it was announced that it's going to be in World Series, I said, okay, I am still afraid, but I guess I have to try it. And I started doing them. And first thing, and I think the main thing that I had to do was just to get rid of this, maybe not stress, but my brain being just so reliant on the image, because I need the image very much when I do speed puzzling. And that was a totally new thing for me to train, and it was really fun. And I really want to thank, and I think I also do that in World Series, I want to thank Olivia and Kinga from Poland, because they we made this like a small group of exchanging unboxed puzzles across the country. And I think thanks to them, I did like 60 or 70 unboxed puzzles since January.
Wow, gosh, yeah. I think it was interesting watching how everyone did feature building, and then watching the sort of the top 5 finishers, how quickly you all, Jim referred to it as zipping the features together. That was fascinating to watch, because that was something I found today about having to sort of build, I was okay building features, but that skill of just getting the pieces together.
Yeah, I was talking with my brother after finishing that I think that this puzzle would be so much easier if only the fish didn't have the white borders, because it made it so difficult to differentiate the pieces, like the leftover pieces. And if the fish were just a little bit bigger to fill in the white background that was there, I think it would be so much faster. Because I had to shape sort the blue pieces. I knew that I could do it without it, but I said, okay, I need to do it because I want to do it fast.
Yeah, and then I suppose the other thing that we were just talking about is about space management, about sort of, because these do tend to sprawl a little bit, don't they? They can get quite big on you when you're doing your features, and just managing within the space you have.
Yeah, I saw it a lot, and I just tried to do the sort of piles where they were supposed to maybe not be, because I didn't know where something goes, but when I had a pile, I just solved it there and tried to keep it aside and do another thing. And then try to, after each island was built, I was trying to look at the islands I built and try to see if any of them have any of the like small details from another island that I built, so I could connect them.
Yeah, no, that was a terrific performance. It was very exciting watching the end come in. I always think with those, you're never quite sure how long that edge is going to take everybody. And we weren't sure whether you had some pieces on your puzzle this time, whether you had some.
I didn't, but I had solved islands on my solved island.
Brilliant.
Those I don't know, the stars, because I didn't know where to put them, so I just put them on the biggest solved island, because I needed more space, and I knew that they're complete, and I'll figure out eventually where they go, and I don't need to have them taking space.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Victor, thank you so much for coming back on. That was fascinating to hear about how you're working on these unboxed puzzles, and we look forward to seeing you doing maybe 1 or 2 more before Munich, eh?
Maybe like 30.
30. That's proper dedication. Yeah, are you doing 30 of each of the different challenges? That's trying to get 30 gradient puzzles would be quite hard, I think.
I think I just consider the rest of the challenges to be like prepared for with anything else I do.
Yes, I'm trying to source the 636 piece Gibson's panoramas has been quite fun. I found 2 in British charity shops, but that's they're quite hard to get hold of.
Yeah, I only have 1.
Yeah,
because it was the only one left in Michelle's shop.
Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, thanks for coming back on the call. That was terrific. That's and nice to get to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Victor.
Congrats, Victor.
Now, I think next up, I think Michelle is sorting us out, a special guest. So maybe if we get them on the screen, and we're going to say hello to Jessica Murray, who I believe is our artist for this evening. Sorry to keep you hanging on, Jessica.
Oh, it's okay. I love watching everyone puzzle, so I've been enjoying my evening.
So, Jessica, can you tell us about you and your art and your relationship to puzzling? How's that?
Yeah, definitely. I have been puzzling pretty much my whole life. Really, I got into it at Christmas time. My parents would give me a puzzle at Christmas, spend the next few days when we're off of school just puzzling. It's like straight. I didn't really know speed puzzling was a thing until a couple years ago, and when I found out about it, I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. Let me give it a go. So I just started speed puzzling about a year ago, but I moved to Spain. So I went to Worlds last year. So it was really nice to be able to kind of get into speed puzzling and just go all the way to Worlds. But yeah, it was great fun. Yeah, that's a little bit of my background.
Okay, so you're fairly new to speed puzzling.
Yeah.
Did you do all the disciplines at Worlds? Were you in? Did you do the pairs, the sort of the desert survival, the solos, and the teams? Or
I actually only did teams. So I found a group that wanted to puzzle. So we would get together every week, people that were around me, and we'd have a good time puzzling. And I convinced them all to do it with me and go to Worlds. I think I was a little intimidated to do solos and pairs, as I'd only been puzzling for like 6-7 months at that point, but plan on going again this year, hopefully, and want to compete in all of them. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yes, yeah. Well, having got there, let's go and do them. Go and do all the things. That sounds great. Yes. So then the other obvious bit that we'd like to know lots more about is about your art. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So this piece in particular, I actually started it during COVID. It was my COVID project to start doodling and drawing. And during the pandemic, I was actually living in Hawaii. So I would be going out snorkeling and scuba diving pretty frequently, discovering really cool fish, and then going back and drawing them. I turned them into stickers. So that was my little side thing. So I have most of the fish in little stickers. That's why they have the white border. But yeah, they're little cute stickers.
Oh,
yeah.
They're really lovely to see, because Jim and I have only really seen them in small thumbnails on jigsaws.
Oh, yeah. I can kind of pull up a bigger one. So yeah, this is the triggerfish.
Fantastic.
This one's the rock mover wrasse. We got the little shark.
And are you a professional? Are you involved in sort of professional illustration, or is that
no,
just a hobby? Or
yeah, strictly a hobby. And it's funny because when I was younger, I was always like, I'm going to have a puzzle one day, but I had no idea how to make that happen. And then last summer, I think I saw Michelle posted on Instagram that they were looking for artists, and I was like, now's my time. I'm doing it.
And what about natural sciences? Are you involved in that sort of field at all, or is it just you just love fish?
Yeah, I love the outdoors in general. So I do a lot of hiking and camping and outdoorsy things, snorkeling, ocean stuff. And yeah, while I was in Hawaii, I was like, wow, the world under the ocean is crazy, and just seeing all of the different fish and trying to identify them was really fun for me. I'm a definitely like search and gather type of person. I love looking for things and figuring out what they are. So I guess I became obsessed with fish in Hawaii when I lived in Hawaii.
Wow, Hawaii and Spain. You're living in some lovely, beautiful places. Fantastic.
Yes.
So, how are you actually doing those images? What media is that you're using?
I use my iPad and an Apple Pencil. So on the app Procreate, so doing like some digital art. There's a thing called the stimulus check that the United States gave everybody during COVID. So I bought my iPad with that and then was like, I'm going to start a sticker business. And business is a very loose word. I did it for the hobby and gave away some stickers to friends and family. But
you may or may not be open to answering this question. Is it just fish stickers that you have, or are we potentially looking at but I don't know whether you should answer it because this might be a spoiler for future future puzzle. But
well, I mean, it's on Instagram, so like if you search my profile, you'll see other stuff. But I do other things as well. Ooh, loud motorcycle. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, I do other sorts of outdoorsy things as well.
So Jessica, that's a perfect moment for you to tell us your Instagram.
Yeah, so my art Instagram is Pitch a Tent Designs.
Pitch a Tent Designs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All one go.
All one go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found you. And there are stickers. Nice.
Not a ton of posts, but
Yeah. Okay. So anybody out there in the chat who wants to find Jessica's work on Instagram at Pitch a Tent Designs. There we go. That's lovely.
Thank you.
When you were working on this particular image, did you have it in mind that you wanted it to have that vertical orientation, or is that just something that happened organically as you were trying to figure out how to put these fish together?
I think kind of both. I was like, I like the portrait style orientation puzzles because it's not usually it's not a typical puzzle that way. And so as I was stacking them, I was like, I think it fits better vertical rather than horizontal. So yeah, I decided to move forward with that.
So you intentionally went out of your way to mess with people a little bit.
Just a little bit. Try to make it a little harder.
Do you typically gravitate towards puzzles that are a little trickier than others, or do you like the ones that are really straightforward?
No, I think I like straightforward illustrations is what I typically like. I'm not super fast by any means. But yeah, I think I didn't realize how much blue was going to be in this puzzle as I was making it. And I thought the gradient in the back was going to be a little bit more defined, like the texture in it, and it turned out to not be super defined. But again, I think the fish are just easy pockets to put together, in my opinion. So you needed to balance it out a little bit.
Which one of the fish jumps out to you the most that you would maybe start building or start working on if you were doing this?
I think the same thing as everyone else was saying. The squirrelfish is just that bright red is not repeated anywhere, and it is very obvious. So I've done the puzzle a couple times now already, and that's where I've started each time. But yeah, that red is just so obvious, I think. Yeah.
What was it like to be an artist watching people rapidly assembling your image, especially with them not knowing what it was to start with? Was that tell us what that experience was like?
Yeah, I think it was really exciting. As I was doing the puzzle myself, I was like, okay, I'm doing this pretty fast, but I also drew the image. So I should know it very well. And then just to see all of the top puzzlers doing it faster than I was doing it, and they had no idea what the puzzle looked like, was really exciting. I mean, it's a sport. It is really cool to see how fast people can put together puzzles. I'm always amazed by how fast people can go. But yeah, it was really cool to see how people could identify what things were. And like when you guys were speculating on what the images were, that was so fun to me too. My family's texting me, they're like, they think it's a bird and like all these things. So family's texting back and forth and they're enjoying the commentary as well. Yeah.
I'm glad they got a kick out of it. And I'm sure they've got to be super thrilled for you to have a big entrance into the puzzling world with your first big image. Is it whenever you see people working on it, I know that you said that you wanted it to be a little tricky. Are you more excited seeing people plow through it, or are you more excited seeing people like try to figure out where the setup is and how they're gonna get through it?
I think I love seeing people go as fast as they possibly can, but there is a really unique aspect to the puzzle, like you guys were saying, how to fit each of the fish into the puzzle because they're all disconnected. And so that was really interesting to see, like, you know, they're like, oh, does it go here? Does it go there? And kind of moving the fish around. So that was also kind of exciting to me because I'm like, it's a mystery and they don't know what's going on. But it's cool to see everyone's, you know, brains processing and their hands flying as fast as they can, and moving the fish all around the table.
Because presumably when the original sort of genesis of the puzzle happened, you weren't preparing this to be an unboxed puzzle, I presume. Was it just to be a puzzle for Michelle? Yeah. Because that was fascinating actually, with nobody knowing how the pieces all fitted together. Did you receive any guidance from outside or about the overall design, like the full blue background, or did you? And I was interested in your decision making, because I guess you could have put a gradient or anything like that on there, or a flare or any sort of thing. But I think that made this a really interesting speed puzzle, because it was, everybody got piled in to start with, and then they clearly got a bit more jammed down in the blue. So I was interested whether that was all you, or whether you'd had any consultation about that.
Yeah, so the original image actually had a darker blue background with a little bit more of a texture to it. And then Michelle wrote back and she was just like, the background's a little too dark because the printing, we never know how dark the printer is going to go. So we're like, how about let's do a light blue instead? So it was definitely a deeper blue, like you're looking in the bottom of the ocean. But I think the light blue works really well, and it makes the puzzle a little bit more vibrant, so it's not struggling through those dark pieces.
Yeah, and we thought it was sky to start. Well, I thought it was sky to start. Yeah, well, I think it's a beautiful image. Jim stated that he doesn't want to do it. I actually really would like to do it. I think it's.
I want to make clear that has nothing to do with the image itself. It has just I don't do a lot of solo puzzling, so that's my default. I think it's really cool. I was actually now that we've had several people complete it and I can get a better view of the thing, the detail that you have on so many of these on these fish is so slick, and how you get character in them without it being just like, okay, here is a picture of a fish, right? Like we've all seen that. There's character in each one of these that you can see a little movement or a little bit of it. It's really, really well done.
Thank you.
And I don't know how you pulled that off. I'm always amazed when artists are able to, like, with a slight twitch of a line, be able to add movement into a thing, and that's really, really impressive.
So is your favorite fish on this puzzle, or do you have a favorite fish outside of this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know overall favorite, but my favorite on this puzzle is the rock mover wrasse. It's this one.
Oh, right.
Because I'll tell you a little story. The first time I ever saw one of these in person, I've only seen one ever. I was swimming out in the middle of the ocean kind of by myself, and I'm snorkeling looking for fish, and there's nothing really around. And then all of a sudden, this black fish with these bright red eyes just floated past me, and I go, what the heck was that? I've never seen anything like it. And it was a juvenile, so they looked a little different than the image that I have there. But it had like all these spiky fins coming off of it and these bright red eyes. And I don't know if you're familiar with the band Kiss, but I went back to shore and typed in a fish that looks like the band Kiss, and then it came up. And that's how I discovered what that fish was.
I literally was thinking that fish looks like the bass player for Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, it was like kind of scary. I was like, oh, wow, this is the world under the ocean. Like I mentioned, is just a fantastic place and all crazy looking things. But that fish was, yeah, definitely the coolest find that I saw.
Are you by the sea in Spain, or are you in the?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can get in. You can get in the water.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. I might do a Spanish fish next.
Yeah.
Have you had an interaction with every fish that's in this image?
Yes. Yep. So each of these fish I have either dove with, scuba diving, or found while snorkeling. And yeah, they've been close enough for me to look at the details, remember it while I'm snorkeling, go back to shore, and then look it up and try to figure out what the heck I was looking at.
That is absolutely amazing. I know that I've done snorkeling a couple times, and whenever I see the fish, I go, "Oh, that's a really pretty color," and that's about as far as my brain goes as I absorb what it looks like, and it lodges somewhere in the back of the brainstem. But then after that, it's like I could not reproduce in a meaningful way what the thing was that I saw. So the fact that you're able to like remember it and then intentionally go and find it, were you thinking, oh, this will make a great sticker?
No, I was just very curious. I grew up in the middle of Pennsylvania in the United States. So
yeah, landlocked.
Yeah, not near the ocean. And then when I moved to Hawaii, I was just like, wow, it's spectacular how many species of fish and the variety. Like if you go snorkeling in Hawaii, you can get in the ocean, get in the water for 10 minutes and see like 15 different species of fish. So there's ones that are like super common and typical. The triggerfish is like the state fish. So super common, and the butterfly fish, and what's the other one that's super common as well? Oh, the parrotfish. So you'll see those all the time, but then like the more unique ones, those are the ones that I'm like, okay, I need to remember this detail because I've never seen this one before, and I've snorkeled 100 times so far, and so this is a unique fish for my experience. Yeah.
Oh. It's something very uplifting about going into nature, and whether you're seeing a red cardinal or a triggerfish or something. It just makes you feel more whole, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Good. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, whenever you were setting this up, were you thinking about how the pieces would sit, or how the image would sit on the cut itself? Because I know some people think about, well, maybe if I twist it this way, it won't like be on a line. Like what kind of adjustments were you doing in the process of going from image to puzzle?
Yeah, I knew I wanted some to be at an angle, but I didn't want all of them to be, because I did want it to be a speed puzzle where a lot of people were doing it fairly quickly. But I was like, I need to throw a little bit of, challenge in there with the orientation. So like the red squirrelfish, he is at an angle, and when you build it, you're like, if you're trying to build straight across, you're not gonna be able to figure out what's going on. And then some of my teammates have built the puzzle yesterday, and they were like, I don't know what this is supposed to be, and I'm looking at the image, they couldn't figure it out. But yeah, it's the orientation, definitely I put some thought into it to make it a little bit more challenging.
There's a question on the chat that came in from Sandra, which is, have you got like a bucket list fish? Have you got one that you would just love to see?
Oh, I really want to swim with a whale shark, and a narwhal.
Oh.
Who doesn't want to hang out with a narwhal?
I know. I really want to see one. So yeah, I think those are my two dream. They're the big ones though. Smaller fish, anglerfish would be super cool. But they're pretty much on the bottom of the ocean, so I won't see those anytime.
That's a tough
The
sell,
thing
yeah.
is, I recognise that the three of us are having this conversation, and we all know what all these fish are. And I apologies to the general chat if we are now displaying that we're three fish nerds.
No apologies. They need to get on our level of fishdom.
But we're
That's what
enjoying
needs
it a
to
lot.
happen.
Yes.
Gosh,
Yeah, for those who are less familiar with the art of fish or fish in general, how would you describe a narwhal to mere mortals?
Have you ever seen the movie Elf? It's the whale dolphin looking thing with a big horn, but it's not a horn, it's actually a tooth that
Yes.
grows through the lip, which is so cool. Yeah, and they swim in pods and they just have these magical super long teeth that looks like a horn. Very up north, I believe, off of Norway and Svalbard.
I'm glad we got in quickly with the description before someone in the chat said that's not a fish. Although, Jim, it sounds like you do that.
I guess it's not a fish. It's an ocean animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh wow, fantastic. Yeah, I think I'll be a bit scared about being in the water with a narwhal, I think.
I swam with some sharks in the ocean in Hawaii too. That the shark in there is based off a photo that I took of the shark that I was swimming with. Super cool experience.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica, thank you for an amazing image, and clearly all the puzzlers really enjoyed it, and you should be really, really proud of yourself. Is there any shout outs or love you want to give to people before we let you get on with your day?
I just want to say a shout out to my family and then my puzzle team. Thank you for puzzling with me, and we'll see everybody at Worlds if they go to Worlds.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jess. Thank you for joining us. Great.
Congrats, and thanks for an awesome image.
Brilliant. Thank you. Great. So we've got 15 minutes left on the time. We're hoping to fit in one more interview with Sergio, who is both a puzzler, I believe, and has another string that we're going to hopefully explore a little bit. Sergio, would you like to tell us why this puzzle is very relevant to you? Oh, can we hear you? Let's see. We just check that we've got your sound.
Hi.
Good. Good.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, I'm a marine biologist, and that it's why this special is really lovely for me. And you guys are all talking about all this time, talking about fish, and I was like, I want to say something, or something like. And it was really, it's a lovely puzzle. I actually wrote to Michelle saying, "Hi, Michelle, amazing puzzle, thanks for it." And everything that is puzzle related, there was more than one person actually here in the chat, and even today, that they wrote to me say, "What animal is that?" Or like they come to talk with me directly because I'll say, "Oh, Sergio, this is your puzzle," something like that. So it was really cool that people know me for that.
You're a real adult marine biologist, whereas we all wanted to be marine biologists when we were small kids.
Yeah,
but you've actually done it.
You lived the dream. You're there.
Brilliant. Now, so you were doing the puzzle with us this afternoon, or
no, I did it a few days ago because it would not be possible for me to do this today.
Yeah.
I have a little puppy that would not let me puzzle for longer periods, so I did it in Flex.
So have you worked in this part of the world where you'd see most of these fish? Is this an area where you've been, or these?
No, I'm totally the opposite. I'm in Norway. So we don't have this. We have all of these animals and or creatures. Let's say creatures in the puzzle. We only have one of the algae, this green algae that appears, this seaweed. We could, to be honest, not sure if it's in the coast of Norway, but I'm originally from Portugal, and there we have this green algae. So yeah, that is the only one that I've seen in person, but I've been searching a little bit of the other fish. So in case if there was necessary some fun fact or curiosity, is like, I think I can contribute. Let's see if I can contribute to something.
I think it's perfectly reasonable for us to ask you the two of the questions we asked Jess, which were, on this puzzle, which is your favorite fish? And is there a bucket list fish that you would love to be able to see out in its natural habitat?
Well, the favorite one that my favorite one was is the manta ray. Even though it was not the easiest one to make, it was pretty difficult. Even with the box, I did it with the box, and it was difficult to do the manta ray, also because of the position and the symmetry makes it difficult to do. And when I was reading a little bit more about manta rays, it became to my bucket list. Actually, now I want to see it because it's I was searching for it. It's like it's not so common to see them. There is spots that you can find them, and then if you do it during the night, while you use some lights attracts plankton, they go to eat plankton, so they actually can swim around the divers, and they call it the manta dive. That is something that I learned today, and I think that is amazing.
You see more than one, don't you? It's like there's like a lot of them. Yeah.
So that it's what I think that now is in my bucket list. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're up in Norway. Are you in fresh? Is this fresh water or salt water that you're working in?
I work with fish nutrition. Besides doing speed puzzling that is really niche, I also do with fish nutrition. So I design or formulate diets for fish that is in aquaculture. So we tend to work with sustainable feed and feed that promotes welfare and fish health. And so I work mostly in the lab and factory, and then I go to work with the fish. But that is something that when I was having marine biology degree, I really like nutrition. Like, it's not just what they eat fish, but how can we make their fish, their feed? That is, I think, is the interesting part of it. So I work mostly with salmon. That is both freshwater and seawater. They're born in freshwater. They go to the ocean, then they come back to mate and to have the eggs in the freshwater. So yeah, I think it both parts of the water.
Yeah. And if you were to rank yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 with your ability to draw fish, where would you say you are?
In my anatomy classes, we needed to draw fish. We needed to draw fish before we open. When we take some layers, we draw again, take some organs. So I actually was surprised that I remember that I was drawing a sardine. And in Norway, I had fish anatomy again, and it was a cod. That was really interesting, but not easy. I mean, you can see that it's a fish, but it's not beautiful fish. And no, so my answer is no.
So you don't do that at all now? You don't ever do any sort of like occasional
when I need to draw a fish, is kind of an emoji type of fish. And yeah.
I've totally loved today because I was so happy to spend 2 hours talking about puzzles, but I've also spent time talking about fish. This has been fun.
No, we can also talk about puzzle, but yeah. But by the way, you guys are talking about the puns. You said the fishy puzzle. I thought about another pun that this puzzle had me hooked.
Hey, there it is. Did getting hooked help you see some of the pieces?
Say it again.
With the C, the C. I did the SEA pun for the. Yeah, if you have to explain the pun, it's a problem. I could go Oshan and on with those, but it's probably not a great idea. Sergio, whenever you were working on this, did your knowledge of the fish help you in the assembly at all?
I actually was expecting that question, and the answer is yes and maybe. Not yes or no, but because it did help me. No, it didn't help so much because I'm not a fast speed puzzler. It took me 90 minutes and 45 seconds, something like that. So it's not the fastest puzzler, but it helped in the way that the fact that it's illustrations, when you have biological illustrations, the artist or the designer tend to emphasize some features to describe the fish. It's not a photography. So designer. So the fact that was illustration, some features of the fish were emphasized, or the fins, or so it might help a little bit to know. They say, yeah, and I know that here should be a fin, or here should be. Yes, but maybe it helped me 3 minutes. I would not say that all these years of studying fish anatomy would not help me to solve the puzzle.
Hey,
much.
I think, you know, if you did like 8 years of schooling and then however many years of work on it, if that saves you 3 minutes on a puzzle, gosh darn it, it was worth it. That was
Definitely.
the long game, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's say yes.
Just real quick, I know we have about 5.5 minutes left, and I just want to cheer on Dora to get as many of these pieces in as she can. She's doing a wonderful job, going great. We're finding Dora here in this fish puzzle. She's doing great.
I did originally misread Dora's name as Dory.
Yeah.
Which I think
I did the same thing.
But come on, Dora, you're doing great.
Oh wow.
I was a little bit sad there was no salmon. It's not an OI, but salmon is kind of my working material. So I was like, every time that I see a puzzle with salmon or something, I try to tend to. I think I have way too many puzzles of sea related or ocean related puzzles. So
how many ocean based puzzles about the sea do you think you have?
I'm not sure, but I would say 20% of my collection. So
now is that including or excluding the number of ocean puzzles that I heard that you got in your birthday recently?
Okay, then I probably 25%. No, I don't know. I didn't.
Which by the way, happy birthday yesterday. Really
Thank
excited
you.
for you. Congratulations
Thank
on another revolution around the sun.
Yes, thank you. When I saw the puzzle, I was like, I think I wrote it to Michelle, at least I thought to write something like that. It's like, I know that is not about me, but thanks for the birthday gift.
It is terrific that you like those puzzles, because you know
Absolutely.
it'd be a bit of a plague if you were really into puzzles and
Yeah.
you professionally were into fish, but you hated fish puzzles.
I wanted to share one puzzle with you that I thought that was interesting. It's this is the world around the world of 50 fish. It's a 1,000 piece, and I did this puzzle.
Wow.
It's huge, and so you can see like a lot of the fish design. It's 1,000 piece, and I did this puzzle without the box, in the way of like, let's see if actually my degree helped me to do. And the funny thing is that I forgot that at certain point I forgot that illustration, and I was doing something that was like, what fish is this? It was a sperm whale, and I was like, what is the sperm whale doing here together in the reef? So of course it's an illustration. The artists can draw whatever they want, but I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a submarine, but no, yeah. So that was kind of answering out the topic question.
Are there any narwhals near Norway?
You guys are talking about it. I cannot confirm. I didn't have this. Just I came to the conversation so fast. I never saw those. And I'm glad that you guys didn't say that they are fish. They are mammals. So
Yeah.
that was didn't that didn't. I was afraid, but I can Google really fast.
Michelle's going to come and stop us because we're in for the evening just talking fish. It's
I'm sorry, Michelle.
Yeah, it's great. We have whoops.
Oh, I think you're on mute there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. We have 2.5 minutes left, and yeah, Dora's doing great. I mean, she's done all the fish, and she's actually leaving the shark for last, I think. Most people finished on the manta ray, but she's actually already got the manta ray done. So she's doing really well. Yeah, so do you have you done scuba diving?
Yes, in Portugal when it's not so cold.
Yeah.
Here in Norway, mostly free diving, because the gear and so on is way much more expensive. And then I actually start doing free diving in the summer. That was for free. And then it's more, I don't know, it's different. But there is, yeah, so the answer is no, not here in Norway, not these last years. I think the last time that I did scuba diving was probably like 10 years ago, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just confirmed that it's narwhals. How do you pronounce it? Is narwhal? Narwhal in Norway. Yeah, in the very north of Norway.
There
So
are.
Jessica was totally right.
There are no narwhals in Norway.
Yeah, there is. There are.
There are.
All right.
I got it.
I feel that is almost like the most wonderful sort of like completion of a 2-hour session of chat.
Yeah. I'm sorry I started floundering there for a little bit. So yeah, there it is.
There's got to be an active cod in here somewhere, isn't there?
Hey.
Well, we have 50 seconds left, but I don't know. If Dora can't hear me, I don't know if she'll notice when the time's up. But there's 50 seconds, 40 seconds left for Dora.
Maybe we could start playing some music for her and tuna it up a little bit. No.
But yeah, so thanks for writing to me, Sergio. I was really happy to read that when you unwrapped the puzzle, that you were really thrilled to see the image, and that had some special significance for you.
Yeah, it was lovely. And whenever there is the fish-related puzzle, tell me, say you must to buy that puzzle, okay. And then I will, without even know what it is, but then I will.
So 2 hours, that is up. Oh, okay, she does know. Is she?
Probably had an emergency alarm.
Still going, I think.
Oh, I think she's starting to. Yep, 2 hours. Thank you, Dora. Okay, so maybe she was.
Congrats, Dora.
Listening to
very
us.
well done. And also, congrats to the 79 other people that all finished under the time limit. You know, this is a beautiful image. Like being able to work this out kind of like a collage, and then have 120 pieces worth of fill-in to work out and get it done under the time limit. That's a really, really big deal. So congrats to everybody.
Brilliant. Well done, everybody.
Yeah, so this morning there was one person who didn't finish it in the flex. But almost everybody so far has finished it, whether they did it with the box or without. So we're really, really pleased with that, and just very grateful to the artist Jessica for approaching us and wanting to put together an image like this for us. So we're very happy. And yeah, when I received how it came to be unboxed, is that when the World Series was announced, I was looking specifically for a puzzle that could be used for an unbox competition. And when our next batch of puzzles came, I was trying to imagine them, like how would people approach it? I didn't realize there was so much blue that would be left over, but I think despite that, as we saw today, there's enough hints to join it all together that people were able to manage that. So well done to everybody who did this puzzle with or without the image. And yeah, just very happy with that.
Just as a little final point, is Dora's mascot a fish?
It's a turtle.
Yes. Oh, it's a turtle. I could just see it front on, and I could see 2 eyes and possibly 2 fins. So
yeah. It looks like a puffy fish.
Yeah, a little puffer fish or something.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I thought it was a puffer fish too, but
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Sergio, for chatting with us.
Whenever you need.
Yeah, and James and Jim for co-hosting. I loved your guesses at the beginning. It was very, very funny. Just sitting here smiling to myself while I was hearing your assumptions. But yes, you learned pretty quickly that it was fish.
Yes. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Lots of fun again.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us on. Yeah, thank you, James. That was lovely hanging out.
That was lots of fun.
Thanks, Dora. Bye. And
bye, everybody.
Thanks to everyone who followed along and chatted with us. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye all.